Well, my apologies, everyone. Jeez, that was unfortunate. We have a bit of a snow issue going on today. It's dumping snow here on March 13th, and apparently that caused a short power outage, so the stream is back on.
Then he came to you. He looked at you a moment, eyes wide and mouth baring teeth. He pointed a bony finger at you and screeched.
I had to run through this intro again, making all the same choices so we could get back to where we were. Yeah, so a teacher and 11 students entered the room ahead of you, and you could hear the great man welcoming them. As you entered, you noted he had no longer had the flowing white locks you'd seen in his paintings. This is the Sir Isaac Newton thing. He pointed a bony finger at you and screeched.
Who is this with whom death walks?
Oh my goodness.
Why have you taken the Reaper to me? My time is not nigh, and I shall not go. Begone, herald of the Death Angel!
The old man continued to shriek at you, going so far as to throw tea at you. You left. A classmate told you he took some calming down before he would continue with the talk, and seemed hurried and distracted throughout. Word reached you a month later that Newton had died. It was peaceful, in his sleep, and said to be of natural complications in line with his deteriorating health. A few days later, a letter arrives telling you that a civil war of sorts has broken out in your homeland. A lich, a powerful undead sorcerer, has begun raising the dead and marches on the capital. So far, its armies show no sign of moving out of Ralston, but Venetian and Habsburg forces are amassing on their respective borders to repel anything that tries to cross them. You spend the next year following the news as it comes, conflicting reports in newspapers and the occasional letter from home. Eventually, word reaches you that the Lich has been defeated, that its forces collapsed as the final blow was struck. Your father was at that battle, as was your uncle. You learn your uncle was wounded, but is well. Neither man died, though the same cannot be said for thousands of others in the country. Many times you think of your terrible meeting with Newton. You read up on his other work, his alchemical and eschatological studies, his scouring of the Bible for clues to the nature of existence, and cannot help but wonder what he had read that led him to see your nation's struggle in your face before word of it had reached you. 1729. Your training complete, you land your first post.
Okay, what kind of choices? You work in a laboratory now. Oh.
You work in a laboratory now.
Acuity refers to the logical thinking and the ability to piece together clues to form a conclusion.
You assist a priest, Sarabat, with his studies. His work is varied and unfocused. He works with magnets for a time, then moves to studying plants. One night, while taking a break from a long day, you both go out for air. He sees something far above, tiny against the vastness of space. A comet, large enough to be seen with the naked eye. You don't know it, but that is the largest comet to ever pass by Earth. You saw the comet too, but you also saw something else. Something Sarabat did not.
3 other comets following? Oh. Okay.
You saw 3 other comets following the first. You had a fever dream that night, as 4 strange beings on horseback rode across the land, devastation and sorrow in their wake. You awoke in a cold sweat. You have never told anyone about the other comets, or the dream. 1731. You are through the early years of your career now. You have earned some recognition and accolades, some time from work, and a purse are made available to you. As you take some time to enjoy this leave, a terrible thing happens to you.
Your arm is broken while climbing the Alps? No, I'm not going to be climbing the Alps. A hunting trip results in a terrible stomach wound. A night on the town ends with your leg being severely damaged. Okay, hunting trip.
A hunting trip results in a terrible stomach wound.
The constitution that we got earlier on in the prologue has taken a hit.
You had ridden out to a nearby forest with 2 friends. When the trail got too dense to bring the mounts any further, you tied them up and carried on foot. You walked for another half hour in silence to find a suitable glade, and then you all spread out. Each of you found some covering, and you settled in for a long wait. It was hard to measure time with the canopy blocking the sun, but you estimated you had been there for another 2 hours at least before you heard movement. A doe, a slight creature, had stopped to graze in the clearing. You steadied yourself and slowly raised your bow, but before you had a chance to let an arrow fly, Laszlo burst from his hiding place and shot at the creature. The doe raised up in surprise, so he only caught her in the flank. She threw her head up, shrieked in pain, and ran. Laszlo took flight after her, trying to knock another arrow as he went. You and Elsa exchanged glances before taking off after him. His shot must have struck something, as he was largely keeping pace with the creature. He fired a second shot that went wild, and a third that grazed her even more so than before. His fourth shot hit just as she went into some foliage, and so she crashed through it. Silence then. She was no longer running. Perhaps, you thought, he had taken her down. He advanced to check on his prey. There was sound from the brush. Could she only be wounded, not dead? As he neared, the undergrowth bursts open and a large thing stepped through. It was the shape of a stag, though it was twice the size, and shifted mercurially as if made of black ink flowing through water. A forest spirit. Lying behind it, the deer panted. She was alive. Whatever that spirit was, it was there to protect her. Laszlo fell backwards as its wild red eyes landed on him. It exhaled a deep, guttural grunt, and a dark mist poured from its nostrils. The creature reared up to crush him beneath it. You fired a shot to distract it. Your arrow went right through the ethereal stag, but did not seem to register. When the creature's blow missed Laszlo, it turned to you. It kicked a hind leg and lowered its head. Elsa was already running. You turned and ran too. Behind you, you heard the beast charge. You looked over your shoulder to see Laszlo had been able to scramble to his feet and was now running the other way. You also saw the spirit bearing down on you. As it neared, your foot snagged on something and you plummeted towards the forest floor. The sudden change in trajectory pulled you from the beast's path so you avoided the full impact. Instead, an antler caught your side. You felt a searing white pain rush through your body. You were unconscious before you hit the ground. When you came to, Elsa and Laszlo were carrying you back to the horses, an arm over each shoulder. There was no sign of the stag spirit or the doe. You felt cold and damp. Your head sagged and you saw your tunic stained brown and red with blood. A lot of blood. You passed out again. You were on horse then. Elsa had you draped across her saddle as she rode you to town. As quickly as you regained consciousness, you lost it again. Then you awoke in a house. A doctor had patched you up. You had lost a lot of blood, but no serious damage was done. You recovered, but your stomach will be pocked forever by this. A memory of both how unlucky and lucky you were. 1733. When you learned of your father's death, you were...
At work.
At work. You were called into a private room, and the news was delivered to you by your superior. It was a small stone room, only one way out, and that was blocked by your supervisor. You were trapped in that terrible grey space. in more ways than one. Something changed in you then, and not for the better. I went numb. It seemed matter-of-fact to me. Of course he would die now, as my life gets going. It was very like him. I found myself thinking he had perhaps died now on purpose. A foolish thought. And yet, now, days later, your carriage crests the hills towards Marnes, the sun blasting off the red and yellow bricks and rippling off the blue sea beyond. You are almost home. Home to bury a man I never really knew, and now never would.
And there we go. So there's our character. Oh, and so what's this? Skill points remaining. I see. So you have a chance here to adjust things if you want. Okay. It's career, academic. Yeah, that works. Fun. Chapter 2. The Homecoming. 1 hour from the north gate of Marnes, my coach has been climbing a steep hill surrounded on all sides by oaks before the great forest gave way to farmland. And there we saw a young woman accosted by 2 brigands. My coachman called to me.
Should we stop, sir?
Yes. At once, our coach pulled to a stop. Young men, what are you doing? Has Marnes fallen so far I have been away that 2 of you should accost a lady so near to the city gates? The ruffians turned their spears towards me.
Be on your way, stranger.
Oh, really? Outsider's trust decrease -2. 2 men turned their spears towards me, and my coachman leapt down with his sword drawn. Oh my, okay. So we're going to get right at combat tips. To the left of the screen are the portraits of your main characters and your allies. Characters take turns in sequence. To the right of the screen are your enemies' portraits. Click on a portrait to zoom the camera to that character. Klaus. Okay. Each portrait has a health bar and a circle number showing action points. Action points are used to move, attack, reload, equip weapons, and cast spells. In addition, your own character has a number inside a star shape. Okay. This shows their magic points for casting spells. Alright. All I see is their action points, but we'll continue on. Click on the terrain to move your active character toward that spot. The hexagonal tiles light up to show the route that will be taken. Costs 1 AP per tile moved. Okay. Oh, I see. And there's... Okay. Well, that's cool. It's non-intrusive. I like that. Click on an enemy character to attack them with your active character. You must be close enough for them to strike and have enough action points left. Melee weapons, swords and halberds, have a range of 1 or 2 hexes, where missile weapons can fire a lot further. However, they can be slow to reload. The end turn button finishes the current active character's turn. Mortal characters can carry up to 3 unused action points to the next combat round. Oh. That's nice to know. You can open your inventory and double-click a weapon to equip it. For more detailed control, open both your character sheet and inventory and drag items between slots in them. Hover over a weapon icon in your character sheet or inventory to see its stats. This includes how many action points it takes to use and its effectiveness against unarmored, leather-armored, and metal-armored foes. If you have undead minions in your control and some magical ability, then you can activate and move a minion by casting the Activate Minion spell. Control passes back to your main character when you click the end turn for the minion. After firing a missile weapon, you will need to reload it. Reloading costs action points. Muskets have an especially high reload cost. While reloading, you cannot move, attack, or cast battle magic. You can cancel reloading at any time. Ending your turn while reloading will use your remaining AP on that. During combat, your camera can move freely. Okay, and the combat speed up slider controls the speed of action. Click the information icon for more detailed information about combat. Okay, so what does my character have here in his inventory? Okay, and then what about this? And do I have to open his character thing separately? Okay, I do. Give him a sword then. All right. That's cool. Well then. So, Klaus, I have to go first? Is that the deal? Okay. Well then, what do we want to do? We want to put ourselves between that guy and that guy. Let's move here. Takes me 2 AP to move there, and then I can attack him. Oh yeah, and so what's it say for the AP on this sword? Knife. Oh, it's not a sword, it's a knife. A small stabbing blade attack. Action points cost 2. Base damage. I see. Alrighty then. Well then. Let's attack him. We did some damage to him. Okay. That hits him. End turn. Space or Y? Great. Space. Oh, and then he's gonna totally poke me. Okay. And then Klaus. Klaus, you're gonna move over here. How much? What's his sword cost? Klaus, I don't get a C. A weapon sword. Okay. AP points 2. Let's move you here then. And let's try to kill this guy. Oh, he's chunky. All right. All right. I'm taking some hits here, but this guy's going to go down. The men turned and fled. The fight was not going their way. I would say we let them go.
Thank you for helping me. I know you. You are the son of Zelig.
She shrugged, smiled sweetly, and straightened the garland in her hair. I nodded. She seemed about my age, but I did not recall her face from the past. Who are you?
Just a girl from the village yonder.
Oh, really? She looked slyly at me and waved her arm vaguely to the north, back down the hill the way we had come.
I was collecting herbs when they waylaid me.
My coachman eyes her suspiciously but says nothing. Who were those men? Surely Mars has not become so lawless.
The protection of the city is not there for all of us. And outside its walls, there are many men such as these.
This much of a words are true. In recent times, I never travel beyond the city without a weapon.
I see. Were you not afraid? Your life seemed in danger.
It was not. Those men are fools.
The coachman scowled at her. Perhaps you would care to visit me in my mansion when I'm settled in. No? Okay. Then perhaps I might learn your name, sweet maiden. She looked amused for a moment before
Perhaps
answering.
Indeed.
I see. Well, perhaps you would care to... Oh, let's try that one again. Nope. All right.
Perhaps indeed.
Okay. Well, then. Be safe. I must be away from my father's funeral. Wait.
I am sorry. It is a sad day. And Lord Zelig was a good man.
Climb back in my coach and glance out to wave farewell, but in the place of the young woman stood an old hag watching me. The shadow seemed to draw in around her, leaving her face indistinct.
Be wary. We select dead the wolves are circling. The house of Van Eerstrik may have an important part in the future of the kingdom. Do not presume to know who your friends and enemies are.
Okay. To the castle we will go.
Whoa there.
The carriage came to a sudden stop, which jolted me awake. I had thought that on my return home after so many years that I would watch it all, rising up over the hill to see Marnes, entering the gates, the ride to my family home. But I had been traveling for 3 days now, and I had clearly been too tired to stay awake, despite my strange encounter in the northern forest. Still, I was home. Perhaps it was unkind of me, but when I stepped out, I was surprised to be greeted by Hoffman. I expected him to be long retired by now. Despite his age, he stood tall as he greeted me.
Welcome home, my lord. I trust your journey was a pleasant one.
I see. As best as one could expect given the circumstances. The old man said nothing, and there was no expression on his face. He just nodded slightly, as indecipherable as I recalled. Nothing about this exchange gave away how close he had been to my father, raising him after grandfather's death, tutoring him, following him into war, even minding my mother in recent years. If he was hurting from the death, and I knew he was, he hid it well. I must have been staring for too long because he cut the
If
silence.
Sir wishes to go inside, I shall follow along with the luggage.
I nodded and left him be. Alrighty then. Graphic settings let you turn off the painterly effect? Really? What's the painterly effect? Graphics. Brightness, frame weight, full screen, shadow, painterly effect. What's the painterly effect? High, low, what's it look like? I'm not sure what that even does. Curious about that. I'd have to take screen. Oh, I see, like that. Okay. Oh, wow, that's wild. What's normal? Oh, I see. Huh, okay. I can see why people would want to have that turned off. Okay. Would be kind of interesting, though, if you want to play something really stylized. Okay, we have full rotation. It was just as I remembered, less cavernous, perhaps, but still an impressive room with a grand staircase leading up to bedrooms and private offices. There was no sign of any of our servants, however, and there beside the fire, my mother slumbered. Mother? I called to Mother as she walked by me, but she seemed oblivious to my presence.
Where is that damn cook? Zelig will be back soon and there's nothing to eat.
Oh no. A little bit of dementia going on there, maybe. Okay. Oh, and there's little... okay, so there's stuff we can inspect. Paintings. Why are these paintings off the wall? Albrecht would know. A partial suit of armor? Where was the rest of the armor? I need to ask Albrecht. Wine? I created my father's most precious wines. Why was this sitting in the entrance hall? My possessions, such as there were, some chains of clothes, some books, nothing of real value. Albrecht, I have questions. When I next saw Albrecht, he was standing in the lobby
Can I
beside
help
my
you,
bags.
my lord?
I saw my mother. She seems worse than normal. The old man inhaled deeply and sighed. Yes, she's been declining rapidly since your father passed. Not sleeping, confusion, losing sense of where she is. I am hoping your return will anchor her some. I'm sure that in a few days, when the pain lessens, she will sleep better, properly, normally. Until then, she wanders a little lost, and I help her get sleep when she can. Yes, I'm sure she will be fine in time, Master Darian. I'm sure of it. Has the doctor seen her? No, but there is nothing a doctor can do for her. Lock her away in a madhouse. I won't allow that. Your letter didn't mention how father died. A sharp look from him. He must not have wanted the question, but surely he expected it. Forgive me, my lord, but I must confess, I am embarrassed to tell you. He was found dead in a bush, the smell of alcohol strong off of him. The herbalist, Helen, performed the autopsy and said it was a failure of the heart brought on by an overindulgence in liquor. The herbalist? Did the city have no doctors? I should find and question this man soon. Meanwhile, I need to search the house for more evidence on my father's drinking habits. Why the herbalist? Why not a surgeon? I'm afraid I do not know why. He is a learned man, I suppose? Drunk in a bush? My father? Yes, some broken bottles were found scattered around him. With the funeral, I've not had time to tidy the area. Should you wish to look, it's around the back of the house. Who found him? The groundskeeper found him, and he began his chores. Anticipating my next question, Albert cut me off. Nikos is not here. He no longer works for the family. Why not? Perhaps a discussion best left for now, but in brief, with your father's passing, the family's financial affairs are unstable. I see. Well, why is there a half a suit of armor on display? Did we break it off and sell the other half? We are in the midst of selling some pieces. Brief, your father's passing has left the family finances under pressure. A conversation for once you are settled in, I think, Master Derry. I see. Why are all these paintings taken down off the walls? The same thing, I assume, to be sold? In the midst of selling some pieces. Yeah, okay. I see. Well then, What news of the funeral plans then? It has already happened, my lord. He was cremated and entombed yesterday. We did not receive word of your arrival, so your uncle hastened the event, as your mother's health has been understandably poor since his passing. I had hoped to allow you more time to rest after your trip before telling you. I was shocked at this, and I am sure that Albrecht noticed. An uncharacteristic softness came over him then. It was a suitable affair, I assure you. I see. Tell me more about this financial issue. Master, I cannot say much about it, as I'm still not clear on it myself. Your father, it seems, had managed to run down his finances. While alive, he was keeping things going, though just enough to mask it from me. When things settle more, and with your permission, I will begin to go through the finances in his office to make sense of the situation. I absently nodded in agreement as I considered what my father had done. Perhaps I should look through these documents in my father's office as well. I've not seen the rest of the house staff since arriving home, Albert. Ah, yes. Well, they have been temporarily let go, I'm afraid. In brief, your father's passing, yes, financial, okay. It's all financial. Well, I decided to bid him farewell and go on with my day. I traveled all this way and had already had the funeral? Yeah, suspicious. Okay, let's see. What are my options? Oh, so here's the map. Okay. That's the... Wow. Lots of stuff here. The Van Elstrick home. I assume this is where we are then? Okay. Well, where do you think Dad's office is? What's in here? Looks like a library of sorts. Robinson Crusoe. Oh, really? What? Okay. That's gotta... Oh, wow. Love in Excess. Oh, so... Nah, I can see this is gonna be a lot of mystery stuff going on, too. This is giving me big time Alone in the Dark vibes. If you were around, if you're as ancient as I was and you played the first Alone in the Dark on the PC, you can double click to run or use the... Yeah, got that. The original Alone in the Dark had static views. You couldn't rotate the camera or anything. Graphics were really primitive back then, but it was one of the best puzzle games I've ever played. And my ex-wife did not like video games, but she actually sat beside me while I played that game, and we played it together because we had so much fun trying to solve the puzzles. That was a really cool game. It's a series that it became a series, and I don't feel like any of the sequels ever lived up to that first very pixelated version that was just so creative with its puzzles. I sat at the piano and played, alone as I had played so many times as a child. After a time I ceased, I was hoping maybe there was a piano key that would open a secret door or something, but alas, such is not the case. Okay, let's explore the house. What's in there? Oh, the commode. Okay. The kitchen. The wine. All right. Oh, there's a secret door down there. Well, that seems like something we're definitely going to want to go back to. What do we have here? A dusty storeroom where my father kept mementos of his adventuring days. Your father was an adventurer? This was another room I had been forbidden to enter as a child. Well, no longer. A chest. What's in it? Some stuff. A linen bag. Okay. A jar. Well, maybe this stuff will come in useful. A bed where we could sit. What's in this chest over here? Oh, more stuff. Oh, and there's a blunderbuss. This is a knife, military medal. You can use the right mouse button or the control key to see additional interaction icons in the world. Use LT on the controller. Oh, okay, there we go. So, I got a dress here? What? An old party dress of my mother's. I remember her wearing this at a big event in honor of Zelig when I was quite small. Huh, okay. What's this over here? A telescope? Oh, we can... I took the telescope and then can we... Oh, I see. I thought maybe we were going to put that back together or something like that. We got a telescope piece. We need to look at our father's finances. We got to figure out what the situation is up here. This is cool. What's this? The door to Albrecht's room was always locked. Understandable, it was his only place of refuge. Okay, so that goes to Albrecht's room. This is a very interesting way to do the levels where you can see down below. What's over here? Nothing. Okay. Downstairs. Apparently we get to the rest of the upstairs of the house through a different means. Alright. The big family gathering room, the dining table. Father had many important meals at this table, but I was never invited to those. Such is life when we were young. Okay, let's see about firewood. Okay, what's in this chest? Oh, some other stuff. Leather boots. Oh, equipment. Oh, equipment for us. Thank you. We don't have to be so naked. Oh, we get this fancy hat. You can view your active tasks by using the journal icon and your taskbar. This icon flashes when there's an unread content. Okay. Well, right now for unread content, let's see. Crimes and misdemeanors. While committing a crime or a misdemeanor, you will see blue arcs in front of other characters. If you move inside an arc, it will turn red, indicating that you have been witnessed. Oh. A tricorn hat. No, that was surely the 18th century's finest fashion item. That is true story. Oh, and we can equip that, but it doesn't sell for 5 crowns. Okay, we can wear our father's military medal. No, we wouldn't do that. I removed my military medal. Okay.
Can I help you, my lord?
Not to carry that weapon openly in town and is against the law. Oh, I see. Okay. So the fact that our character has it equipped right now is a bad thing. Okay. I got you. You want it to be a little more immersive? All right. That works. Yeah, we can just do this. I got you. So which one might be Dad's office here? We got bookcases. If Father wasn't in his office, he'd often be here. I used to wait for him to leave so I could look at whatever he'd just been reading. Oh, interesting. So maybe this is his office here? Nope, this is where my cousin Lucas stayed when he was with us. I wondered when this room last saw use. Okay, so that's Lucas. So there's a commode there and there's a bathroom there. Alright. Get over here. Oh, no, get it out of the door. If I want to use the WSAD keys, I gotta be... Whose room is this? Is this yours? What is this? There's a chest in here. It's like a... Oh, a bladder. Leather trousers. Cloth. Okay. So now I get some pants, but... Okay, that's cool. I automatically equipped them. So what's the journal say? Before anything else, I need to talk Albrecht, which I did. My father apparently died from drinking too much. I have never seen whiskey in the house. I need to search for clues. I should check the bush around the back of the house where my father's body was discovered, and I should search his office specifically for information on the family finances. Yes, that's definitely what we're doing. Just gotta be able to find his office. My old room. It was strange being back. I felt the same every time I returned home. though it hadn't really been my home since I was sent away 14 years prior. Just a place I came to see my family. Now, just a place to visit my mother. Okay, so that's your room. I need a map of this house. That's what I need. Oh, is this his office over here? Okay. My parents' bedroom. Even now, it felt like a violation to be here. Okay. There's still 2 more rooms here, I think. Oh, there's 1 more room. That's a cabinet. Wardrobe. So Dad got anything good in here? A bodice, a black dress. That's for Mom. What else is in here? A drawer. There's a gold ring. Well, finances are dire. A small key. Well, that seems like it'd be important. A strange stone. Needle and thread. That might be important. Okay. My father's study, where he spent most of his time. Now we're making some progress. There's a globe. Globe of the world. It even had the Americas on it. It was peppered with tiny red and black flags. I couldn't help but be curious as to what they meant, but there was no sign of a key anywhere. And there's a book up here. It looked like there was something up there. Probably reach it with a stretch. Skill check, agility to level 1. Spend 0 skill points to climb onto the shelf to reach it. Spend 0 skill points to leave it where it is now. You are making a skill check. It's a level 1 agility check. This means that you need 1 level of agility to pass it. If your skill is less than 1, then you can spend points from your skill pool to make up the balance. Your skill pool refills at the start of each chapter. Okay. Well then. A copy of the play Macbeth. Inside was an unaddressed letter, but my father had clearly intended to send, but now never would. Oman, you owe me a debt, and I intend to collect in a week hence. I warn you neither to disappoint nor shortchange me. The result of either would be most unpleasant for you. Okay. Well then, he's gonna collect the debt because he's obviously got some money problems. Oh, what? There's a sword here? I took a sword. My father wouldn't need it any longer, so I had to strap the family blade, my blade, now to my waist. Okay. My father's armor has been gathering dust here since the Lich War. I could see that it had undergone several repairs, including a severe gash on the back, where father had been lucky to survive that war. And then again, I considered anybody who came back from that war to be lucky. I considered making use of it. Skill check, strength level 2. Spend 1 skill point to force the breastplate away from the main structure. Your current skill pool is 5. Okay. With some effort, I managed to leverage a breastplate and the upper structure away from the lower parts where it had been securely bolted. Though it was completely the wrong size for me to wear, I took it in case it might be of use. Well, we like to have things in case they're going to be of use. It was an impressive collection of books with a wide range of titles. I could see a collection of the English poet Shakespeare, a copy of Machiavelli's The Prince, and even some recent works such as Paradise Lost and a copy of Robinson Crusoe. Alright, desk time. My father's desk, a pile of maps and writings scattered across it. It seemed he was as messy in later life as I recalled from my childhood. It was a scattering of personal and academic papers. My father was not, to my memory, a particularly learned man, so I was surprised to see writings from Zosimos, Dee, and Pericles. I could make out no discernible pattern in what my father had been researching. I looked at the maps, up-to-date charts of the known world, and sketchings of local areas with various nearby tombs marked out. I searched for the details on matters financial. After Albrecht mentioned the family's affairs, I ignored the other text and focused on a ledger showing my father's expenses. Things were bleaker than expected, and I could understand why Albrecht decided to cut back on the staff. With my father alive, he could have held things together, certainly, but what were a butler and my mother to do with that loss of income? Where had all this money gone? The ledger showed it bleeding out, but to where? Perhaps in those books. He had been looking for a way to turn lead to gold? There were also some letters on the desk. Of note, the one demanding payment or else stood out. I was shocked to see my father was in debt to some shady sort, but given his finances, I understood at least. All right, well. And then we have a drawer. What's in the drawer? The drawer was locked. I needed to find a key, but we have a key. We found a key. Is this the key? Some personal items of my father's. Oh, so that did work. A strange trinket? Wow. A bottle of port. Okay, so he didn't have whiskey, but he had a bottle of port, a blue stone ring, a belt, leather gloves. Okay. Wow. Interesting. A portrait of Adelia Schmidt. I had a vague memory of the man from my youth. A general alongside my father and uncle, a close friend of theirs. It's marked his death as 1726 during the Lich War. Okay, let's go see about the, what's going on in my mom's journal here? My mother's journal was a mess of disjointed sentences and lists, as if she was trying to remind herself of even the most basic tasks. Yes, well, we spoke about the dementia earlier that my mother's undergoing. That's probably, if I go, that's how it's going to go. That's my greatest fear, is losing my marbles. And I'm going to be taking copious notes, trying to remind myself that I'm losing my marbles. All right, in that case, let's head downstairs. And we need to go out the back. Is there a back door out of here? Leave these doors open for me, will you? There's the drawing room, but I don't, does this lead out of the house? No. I don't see anything that leads outside. Okay, so we'll just have to go through probably the front door. What's this back here? It's just a storage room. Oh yeah, and then there's this. We'll investigate that in a little bit. Let's go handle the first order of business. And yeah, I'd like these doors to stay open. That'd be great. Around back and look at this bush. All right, what's our map look like? So we're here. Wait a minute, there's water in this direction? A little confused where I'm at here. Okay, back here. Where is this bush that he was found at? Oh, there's a cat. A black and white cat sat there watching me suspiciously. I reached out a hand because cats love me. The beast hissed and ran off around the house. Oh. All right, what do we have here? Scene of the crime. A messy whiskey bottle lay scattered on the ground beneath a battered bush. So this is where my father was found. Skill check, knowledge level 3. Spend 0 skill points to recall something of your father. I didn't recall my father being a whiskey drinker. Then I spotted a small key, half buried in the dirt. It must have fallen from my father's pocket where he was here. I put it in my bag. Surely he would have had some whiskey in the house if he was so fond of it. But all I had seen inside was wine and port. Something didn't add up. I hadn't been home for a long time before this. What I had learned on my return made me wonder if things had changed a lot in that time, or if I had been too young to form a realistic picture of my family. My mother was ill, very ill. I remember her being absent as a child, not distant. She had been a loving mother, just one who was different. Only now I could see she had been dealing with something significant. Father had been in a precarious place leading up to his death, which itself raised suspicions in me. I resolved to stay in Marnes for a time, to assist my mother. Not wishing to be a further drain on the family, I would go into the city and look for work. All the while, I would seek answers about my father's death. Something was not adding up and I wanted to know what. It was time to go into the city. Yeah, it's time to go into the city, but I'm really curious about that basement thing. There's a garden chest here. We could... Ooh, there's a big old sigh. Okay, I'll take all that stuff, because who knows. Before we go anywhere, we're going to go back inside the house, because I really want to know what's going on with that basement part. Let's go in there. Where was that? It was this way, wasn't it? Gotta learn this house. Yeah, I really wish the doors would stay open. That'd be great. Okay, back over this way. We picked up a key. Is this locked or is it just open? This was clearly a trap door. Heavy licking, reinforced with metal braces, and with no obvious locking mechanism. I could not see any way to open it. Perhaps Albrecht might know something. Yes, let's go talk to that man. Again, Albrecht, my friend. Okay, we can just run through the doors. That's cool.
Can I help you, my lord?
Yes, you can. Where is... Do you know anything about the trapdoor in the floor of our storeroom? Yes, my lord. The old wine cellar is below there. He paused for a moment before continuing. Zelig had it bolted down after some creatures found their way in through an old tunnel. Creatures? Indeed. I only got a brief glimpse myself. They were horrid, cowering things with cruel fangs and claws. Your father and uncle drove them off easily enough and dispatched several in the process. Do you know how it can be opened? Would that be wise? Besides, I do not know. Sorry. I see. I don't think he's telling us the whole story. When did we get a black cat? A newer arrival since I was last home? Oh, that annoying creature. It turned up only recently and started pestering us. I would have driven the beast away, but your mother insisted on feeding it. Well, that's always the first step, isn't it? Okay. Well then. He didn't tell us much, did he? Well, I suppose one of my favorite places in the house. Many a night with Albrecht will be spent here to fix a late snack with my mother and father gone to bed. That's the bit. Okay, so I should have just stayed in that room, but the door was there. Let's go back outside now. We have to transition. Okay, that's cool. Who is this lady? Is that your mom? Yeah. A jetty? I had fond memories of jumping into the sea from here with my friends Dietrich and Flip. Long hot summers. A lifetime ago. Alrighty then. Well, so presumably we're here. Yeah, and we need to go. Wow, there's a graveyard there? Okay, hold on. What's the question say? I should find Halen the herbalist and ask him why he did the autopsy on my father. Yep. And I should find Nikos, our ex-gardener, and discuss my father's death. Okay. I like both of those. Barracks, Gervais's Keep, Dead Man's Gate, Cemetery, Hospital, Graveyard, Cathedral, and a market. Maybe he'd be at the market? Let's go try that. Alright, my friend. Let's go try the market. Yeah, we're out here, so I want to orient myself. From around the corner, a familiar face appeared.
It is you!
Dietrich!
I saw the carriage pull up and hoped.
My childhood friend. His demeanor was as cheerful as ever, and as oblivious, considering the circumstances.
Good to see you. How are you?
After a moment, the penny dropped.
Well, yes, of course. A funeral. Terrible thing. I was at it. Shame you weren't. You would have liked...
He trailed off as he heard himself, rubbed the back of his head, and stared thoughtfully at the ground.
Well, yes.
Dietrich, you old fool. You haven't changed a bit. He laughed, and the tension was cut.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here I am years after seeing you, and I'm no different. Foot and mouth, first opportunity.
Not like you, you're a man of the world now. An academic, I'm told. Yes. I'm looking for a short-term work here now, though.
Well, there are plenty of offerings about the place. I'm sure you'll find something. Look, meet me for a drink in Garnett's Tavern later, and we'll have a right proper catch-up.
I look forward to it. Where is Garnett's Tavern?
Yeah, sorry. You won't know it yet. She only bought it last year. It's the tavern on the other side of the river. Cross the bridge at the marketplace.
Okay.
Here, I'll mark it on your map.
Brilliant. I love it when people mark things on my map. Do you have any ideas where I might find employment?
Try the docks, maybe? Or, try over at the academy. There's a school there, and I think there are teachers short.
That's perfect
there
for
might
me.
be some work for a knowledgeable person such as you.
There you go.
Oh, yes. I saw a sign outside Garnett's this morning. Take a look at that. It might be a job advert. Yeah, I'll mark them all on your map.
Perfect. Lovely to meet you again, Diedrich. Take my leave for now. See you again this evening. My friend bowed as I turned away. All right, my friend. Okay. So we're here. There's the graveyard, the cathedral. We're not going to go to the market. I want to see if this herbalist might be in the market. I wish we had compass markers, kind of. There's the graveyard. Okay. Oh. I gotta get used to it. Used to navigating. Oh my goodness. Okay. Is there a way to invert that control? Interface and controls. Let's see. Rotate camera. What are my options? Acceleration, swap, WSD, and arrows. No, I just want to be able to invert camera rotation. Yeah, that might be it. Okay, so if I'm going... Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's a little fox. Who's this? Fruit and vegetables. Dorothea Becker. This guy, Akram, he doesn't look like an herbalist though. I've got tapestries. Brina. What's Brina up to? Brina looks kind of shady sitting back there. I got all kinds of different foods here at the marketplace. But I don't really see an herbalist type person. Assorted goods. Bill. Okay. This is really weird. When I'm just panning, I want them inverted. And then when I'm running, I like them this way. My brain is just the dumbest when it comes to controls. All right, let's see. Who's this Brina person?
Can you spare a coin for a poor old woman?
Maybe. Place a coin in her outstretched hand. She bowed her head.
Thank you kindly.
Trust from outsiders increased by +1. Okay. Who's this person? Wait a minute. Morton. As I approached the hospital, I noticed a guard was stationed there, and when I neared, he held his hand out to stop me.
Hospital is closed to visitors. Dr. von Salfelden's orders.
Really? Why?
You can ask, but I don't have an answer for you. I hardly understand anything the man says. Medical reasons. There, that's your answer.
Medical reasons. That's an answer. Okay, so we can't get into the hospital. All right. Would anybody around here know where the herbalist might be? Dorothea.
Fresh bread, rolls, Birox. What can I interest you in?
Birox?
Buns with meat and cabbage inside.
Oh.
So savory. From the homeland. Russia thinks they invented meat buns, but you and I know better, yes? These are popular in Stettin, but we eat them all over Brandenburg. Would you like one?
Sorry, but no. I'm looking for the herbalist. Thought she might be here. Okay, so let's see what else the map has to say. There's the market, Garnet's Marketplace Tavern across there, and there's the academy. Well, maybe somebody will know where this person is. Nikos, our ex-gardener, in disguise, my father, and Halen the herbalist. All right. You can make your own entries in the journal by hovering over the last entry and using plus. Oh my gosh. That's like one of the things I have begged game developers to do is let me make my own journal entries. Oh, well, you get an A+ for that already. A+. We love it. Okay, so across the river here. Oh, and it's auto-saving. That's nice. So, Dorothea, I don't suppose you would know where the herbalist is.
Oh there, goodly sir. Can I interest you in some rare foods? Cheese from the kingdoms of France, perhaps? Or dried meats from the 13 colonies? Even have some, well, return when there is.
Okay, I want to check one other thing here. The audio in the game isn't very consistent. Is one of the things I noticed. Like during that prologue, there were times when it was a little louder. And I want to be able to hear them. Hear everyone. So here is the tavern. There's pottery here. What's this say? The sign out front that read, "If you can read this, we want to hire you." Tavern work seemed like a good way to meet people and get reintegrated here. Plus, drinking patrons might let something slip. Maybe I should find clues to the mystery surrounding my father here. You could, but I kind of want to go to the academy at first if we're going to talk about that. So let's go down this street here. Okay, hold up. What? Well, part of the problem here is my fingers not being on the right keys. This is a very busy little town that he made here. Wow. I'm actually not sure how many people made this game. I know it's an indie game. I don't know if it's a one-person solo dev or if there was a team of people. I probably should have researched that. A group of children was playing outside the school. They looked more unkempt than I recalled even from my poorer classmates.
You look just like Master Lucas.
Really? Lucas Van Elstrick, you mean?
You know the schoolmaster? Of course he does.
The child who spoke was older than the others, a girl of perhaps 12 years. She sat back and watched the others, and they paid heed when she spoke. You know me.
Just got me into the ground is all. Your father, he's the one what died yesterday.
He died a few days ago. The funeral was yesterday, yes.
Sorry. My father died way back before I was born.
I didn't know what to say to that. As I regarded the child, I felt something brushing my side. A short-haired boy jumped back, pulling his hand away from my pocket. I tried to grab him, but he had already dodged back too far and ducked away from me. You, boy? What are you doing?
I wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't me. I never.
Yeah, you little swimmer.
Nick, stop that! I'm sorry. I'll make sure Nick tells Father Huber about this in his confession.
Who are you children?
We're just kids. Or we're school kids is all. Just waiting on a new teacher for lessons.
Skill check, acuity level 2. Spend 0 skill points to pick up on something of a note. Orphans? The older girl scowled at the one who let it slip.
We're as good as any kids. You ask Master Lucas.
I don't need to. I can tell just from talking to you. Bright children, one and all. She seemed pleased with herself, and a palpable wave of contentedness washed across the gathered children. What's this talk of a new teacher?
Quit. Father haven't run away to do kisses forever.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good way to live your life. I approve. The crowd started giggling then and making kissing noises. I thought it time to ask about something else. Fetch the schoolmaster for me, won't you?
We'd love to, but we're so hungry. We don't get much to eat. Only what the school can spare, and that ain't much. If we had some food, that'd give us the energy to fetch the schoolmaster. Surely it would.
I see. Spend 0 skill points to order her to get the schoolmaster without being bribed. I like it. Fetch me the schoolmaster now, and he won't hear of your insolence. Waste any more of my time, and I'll make sure you get caned. They turned to look at the oldest child, whose face scrunched into an angry scowl. There was nothing she could do, and she knew it, so she stormed off into the building to fetch the master. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we get this little feather here as our wait cursors. We're waiting for the master to show up, apparently. This is him. Oh my goodness.
Cousin, I am delighted to see you, though I only wish it were under better circumstances.
It was strange to see my cousin after so much time. Doubly so to see him working as a schoolmaster. I had gathered from my correspondence while away that he had not followed his father into politics or the military, but I had not expected this.
So, what can I do for you, dear cousin?
I hear you're planning to take on a new teacher here.
I am. Are you looking for work? I can't imagine finding a more suitable candidate than yourself. Think on it, cousin, and come back to me. I could certainly use a trustworthy hand with my work here.
Okay. So, are you still in need of a teacher? I am. Does this mean you want the job? I hadn't received another offer yet, but I was sure other work was out there. Taking this, of course, would conclude my search for work. Yes! This is perfectly what my character is supposed to be doing. Really? I'm delighted. Look at us. Cousins following the same path as each other, just like our fathers did. But oh, such a different path. Please call in to the school in your morning, and you can start your lessons. Oh, and we get a day-night cycle, too. The evening was closing in on me. It was probably time to go meet Dietrich in Garnet's Tavern. Okay. Cool. Well, then. We'll head to the tavern. It was back this way, if I recall. What is this place? The apothecary. Wait a minute. Oh, it was locked. Okay. Where is this at, though, on the map? Right there. Okay. And then there's the... Oh, so it's right beside the tavern. Okay. Well, then, the tavern. What do I have here? Hend. Who's Hend? Dietrich. What other people? Irving, Sophia, that's our old friend. I'm gonna have to invert this again. I'm getting a little wonky by it. Tomas, okay. Mendoz. I just want to see if anybody that I'm looking for would be here. Hamide. Was that the name of the person? Oh no, Halen. Okay, it started with an H. I knew that much. Janko. A couple. My wife and I always have the most fun trying to guess who's on a first date at a restaurant. That's one of the funny stories that I have in story time with Color's Fade today. My wife and I were out on a date night about a month ago. We don't get to go out on them as often as we like to, but I really like going out with her, and it was pretty funny. We both got dressed up and went out, and because we still love being around each other and we have conversations, and when we're at a restaurant, we put our cell phones away and we just spend the whole time talking to each other. Because of that, when the waitress came up to bring our check, I could see her start to form the words, mouth the words. Will this be one check or two? And then she saw our wedding rings. We've been married for 14 years. She saw our wedding rings and was like, oh. And she just decided to go back and bring one check. And that made me chuckle because my wife and I see so many people like us in their mid-50s out having dinner somewhere, and they've either got their phone, they're both got themselves buried in their phones and they're not talking to each other, or if they have their phones away, they're still not talking to each other. So this person, because of the way we were animatedly speaking to each other, she just assumed we were on a first date. It was pretty funny.
Hello.
All right, Dietrich. As I sat with him, he called to Garnet to bring over 2 drinks. Any luck on the work front? I found something, yes. Do tell. Teacher. I took on to teach the orphans with my cousin Lucas. Noble work. I wish you well with it. That's the same building I work in, so if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. So please tell me how you landed the job. Well, I can't believe he did that. When her father found out, he chased Flip out of town. Poor chap had to find work over in Mintock and stay the winter. Good old Flip. So tell me, how have you been? Oh, me? Where to start? Are you married? Seen anyone? He looked to the ground then and scratched the inside of his ear with his little finger. Not much to discuss there. Then he livened up. That might change now, though, with my aide-de-camp back in town. Why not? Once I'm settled in, we'll see what matchmaking we can get done. I look forward to it. Okay. And when he dropped, there was an almighty crack, and we all thought his neck must have been torn clean off. But then another crunch, and the crossbeam tore from the gallows main, and he fell to the floor. Father Oliver declared it an act of God, so your uncle revoked the death sentence and sold him to a privateer in the Queen's employ to work off his debt. They set sail within the week. Nobody's heard of him since. The gallows just snapped? Termites. Folk reckon the privateer set them on it days before to get the intention. That's funny. Tales have come back of him doing the same thing over in Venice, too. At the thought of Venice, Dietrich spat. Well, we're getting drunk and passing a lot of time here. I followed the procession to the edge of town. Got up to the front, right by the shield wall. Saw them chase the ghoul out and all that. I bribed Mortain with a bottle of schnapps to let me sit on the wall that night. I drank a bottle of the stuff myself as I watched the little gray buggers slink back into the crypts. I see. Was there anything strange? Problems with the shroud or the likes? He laughed. The shroud? Of course not. I'm pretty sure that by now the shroud is nothing more than a handful of spooky old men meeting up in one another's houses to wish they were dead. If any still exist, at best they turned up to watch Zillig's burial and wish it was theirs. Okay, interesting. The beer is going right through me. I'll be back in a moment. That's what it does to me, and it doesn't take all night. It takes 10 minutes tops, man. I tried to sign up, only your father wouldn't allow it. He said it was because I was only 13, but I knew other boys allowed to join the effort. They needed numbers, and fast. In truth, I was glad he turned me away. I doubt I'd survived. Barely survived as it was here. He went quiet then. Do you think they're in there? I don't follow. A person, their soul. Do you think somewhere deep down they're still inside when a dead person rises again? I don't know. I had an encounter with one. I could have sworn that he recognized me. Gave me the time I needed to run before a guard came and he trailed off again. Wow, academic. In the Orient, their Buddhist priests believe that once a person dies, their life energy, their soul as we know it, that it returns to a sort of primordial soup to be reused. Maybe they're right. And whatever the Lich raised were just husks. That the souls that once lived there are gone now, reborn somewhere else. Hopefully, somewhere far away and safe from such horrific times as these. That doesn't sound very Christian to me. Anyway. He shifted a bit in his seat, and then we spent the next few days bolting over graves and burning what had already come up. You're just lucky they sent you away. We both stared silently at our drinks. Look, sorry. Let me get you another drink, eh? We're doing a lot of catching up. We broke into the laboratory in the small hours. Ainsley opened the parcel he had somehow procured. Inside, there was a hand. Relatively fresh. Not so fresh as to have been taken off a living person, mind you. A day or two dead. A woman's, probably a hard-working but relatively young one by the look of it. We stared at it and one another for a while, almost disbelieving we were hoping to reinvigorate the damn thing. And then we got it to work. I was to prepare the hand myself. I slowly unwrapped the packaging, butcher's paper, which set me uneasy, let me tell you. The cut at the wrist was clean, right through the bone, and the blood had long turned brown, and it was cold. Cold in a way living flesh never gets. I had to make incisions along the muscle pads and insert these metal probes. Squat bars of copper and zinc with thick wire sprouting from one side that ran into the machine. Brodeur was busy wrapping the wire around the bolts on the device while Ainsley mixed the chemicals. We worked in silence for fear that whatever boy was on hall duty that night might hear us. Once everything was ready, we began to heat the phosphate. The machine kicked into life immediately, spinning and whirling, and we could feel the hairs on our arms stand as energy began to flow along the wires.
Did it work?
Sort of. The hand did begin to move, but only in that it twitched as the whole thing went on fire. The phosphate sparked into a red inferno and sprayed across the room. It was only by God's divine intervention that we three didn't get touched. We sounded an alarm, and soon students were running hither and yon in their nightwear, passing buckets of sand and water to control the fire. Thankfully, it didn't spread, but that lab was out of commission for the rest of the semester. Is that what brought you home? Kicked out? He paused then, the reality of why I was actually home coming back to us both, as if someone had opened the door on a winter's night and the wind had chilled us. No. We did own up to it, but well, Ainsley's father. He is the Earl of Richmond. If the dean tried to expel him, then they'd lose a lot of funding, and he couldn't expel only 2 of us, so... Friends in high places, right? I don't understand, Darian. Why would you do such a thing? I've seen the dead rise, and it's no child's game for rich children to play late at night. Necromancy is just a science. Why should evil men in dark cloaks get to say what we do or do not study? Do we discard fire because some houses burn? Folly. If we can understand how they return, we can do more to counter it. Stop them. That lich is gone, but somebody is going to follow in his footsteps. Some shroud is going to pick up where he left off. And I, for one, would want a better understanding of our enemy. You cannot plan for a war with the unknown, my father would always say. That's true. It's been good catching up. Let's do this again soon. Of course. Oh, Darian, it's so good to have you home. Well, there we are. In the wafting haze of drunkenness. Okay, well, you know what? We're close to the end of time. The game just auto-saved, so I think I'm going to leave it there. It's been a fun, if interrupted, 2 hours there. It's the Necromancer's Tale. So let's dive back through. Well, I don't have the windows up, I guess. Oh, maybe I do. Let's see what I got here. Oh, yeah. I got these back up. Let's conclude this by looking at these again. So to let people know, I'm going to pick this browser here. Yep. If I can get it to work. Is it going to work? Maybe not. Let's try this. Try the window. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one. There we go. So here are the games that I have keys for to give away. And again, remember, just go to the Colors Fade Gaming main page. And down here, you can hit view email address and send it to me. These are the keys that I have for games. I have one for this game, Zero Order Tactics, strategy, turn-based, pixel graphics, hexagon type thing. I'm not really sure what the rest of the game is about. Knights in Tight Spaces, which is a tactical, isometric, turn-based card battler. But it has some really neat-looking graphics, I think. So it's got mixed reviews. All reviews are mostly positive. It does have some very nice looking artwork and graphics, so I would, that looks kind of cool to me. And then of course, this one's been famous for a while. Into the Breach, if you're into indie games, I've heard nothing but great things about this. It's got incredibly very positive reviews, so I have a key for this. And then later on today, in about an hour, we're going to dive into Menace, and I believe I have an extra key for this, so after that, if anybody wants a key for that, that's going to be cool. I'm going to take a break, I'm going to have some lunch, and get ready to do Menace this afternoon. I'm looking forward to this. This could be a really, really good time. This has been one of the top 3 games that I've been looking forward to in like the last year or 2. So I'm very excited about it, folks. Thanks for being here on the second day of Turn-Based Thursday Fest. It's been a lot of fun. It's the last day for me because my weekend is packed. My son has his first track meet tomorrow, and it's snowing outside, so I don't even know if we're going to have that. But if he does, I'm probably going to be 2.5 hours away, shivering my butt off for several long hours, and then another 2.5 hour drive back, and then I'm just going to want to have something toasty warm and a really hot bath and get my ass warm back up because I do not handle the cold very well. And then Sunday will be a day of relaxation for me, but Turn-Based Thursday Fest. Make sure you go out, check it out, look at the calendar, see if there's games that you are particularly interested in. You can certainly find a streamer streaming them. I will see you all back here in about an hour. Thanks for watching, everybody, as usual. Sorry for the interruption. The power did go out. That's why we lost. That's why there's 2 separate streams. There was the first half, the power went out, then there was the second half. I'll see you all in an hour from Menace. Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy gaming.